So you'll hear in the background, you'll hear my ironing getting warm, but that thing is going to stop in a moment. So before we start with sewing anything, I just want to show you the difference. I mean, the top, of course, the front part, most of it is getting sewn with the sewing machine. Well, of course, you could do your own thing and do it with the serger, but I think it's easier with the sewing machine. So there are some seams here that are constructing the front panel that needs to be finished first if you want to have them finished. But in all the ones that I made, to be honest, I did not finish these seams because working with a jersey is not going to unravel or something like that, so I let it as it is. It's also adding much lesser bulk, as you can see here. But keep in mind that all the construction seams, and actually there are only I think 3, these are going to be raw if you don't finish them before you start sewing. So with that being said, I'm going to put this to the side, and I have here my pieces. This is the side panel, so it will be this little panel here, and you cannot really see here, but I did serge it with black thread, so you can see it really nice. So I finished the small part here and the long part, because this one is going to get sewn in a minute together like this, and you cannot get to it anymore, and this part. So these 2 parts needs to be finished up front, and from the other part of the front bodice you need to finish both of those rounded edges. So this one here, let's see, here is the neckline, of course, so you have to finish this edge and this rounded edge too, because these ones during the constructions they are going to be, as I said, most of the time you'll use your sewing machine because it's not so easy to get with the serger, so you want to have these ones finished if you want to have your edges finished. So this one and this one. So the first thing that we need to do, and I am going to zoom in here, so we have here this side panel, and you have 2 notches, one here and one here. Well, the next thing, after you finish this edge, again, if you want to finish it, we are going to bring these 2 points together, right sides together, like so. You can see it better missing, like so. Let's see. So this is the piece like this, facing up, and then I'm bringing these 2 corners here are important. Put them together, and then you'll have to stitch. I'm going to put a pin from here, from the edge to the marking. And as you can see, this is now I must say that depending on the fabric that you are using, so if you are using something much loftier, like I had here this knit, sweater knit, I will say maybe make this opening a little bit bigger, so just don't go all the way to the marking, but maybe 6 mm before, because that's going to give you just a little bit more space to fit that front panel through. So I think I'm just going, you know, just to make my life easy, just going to go 5 mm before that. So I'm going to stitch from here to here, and I'm using a straight stitch, normal length. It worked well in all the 4 other versions of this pattern, so I'm just going to use a straight stitch, 6 mm seam allowance. So as you can see here, I just stitched, actually I did take a little bit more than 6, maybe 1 mm extra, because my serger seam is just, I think, 6 mm, but you know, it's really okay. So as you can see, I stopped just a little bit before my marking, just to make my life a little bit easier, and this is now unfolding like this, and actually this whole edge here, from here to here, including this little seam, became your new side seam. So I have here the hole, let's see, you can see here I have a hole, and that's why I said that this should be finished up front, because otherwise you cannot really get to it anymore. So we are going to let that as it is, and we are going to bring the front panel. So we are now at the moment that we need to make the twist. I have here my bigger part of the front bodies, and here is the side panel. So as you can see, you need to lay them down like this. If you cut it correctly, you have the side panel will be on your left as worn, but put it on the table like this. You have here the side seam unfinished with a little seam at the edge where the hole is here, and you have here that finished part. Now what you need to do, let's see, put this away. You grab the lower part of the bodies, this one here, and you have to fit it from this side. You'll fit it through the hole, and I like to begin, you know, at the corner to make it a little bit easier. So I'm just going to put it through the hole. You know, try to leave the side panel on the table that you don't get confused. Okay, where is my hole? I have a... Alright, so I'm just going to fit it through my hole. Really easy, don't pull too hard, you know, you don't want to break stuff. Okay, now I'm going to bring the side panel, so now it's almost through. Now it's through, as you can see here. So this is what I have now. I have here my side panel with the unfinished side seam on the upper side, as you can see here. What I want to do now, and you also need to be careful that this seam is still here on the upper part, and this one here is coming downwards, that is didn't get twisted or something like that in the meantime. So I have it here like this. What I want to do now, I want to bring this seam here all the way here, so I can put them right sides together. I'm going to take this guy to the side here upwards like this. So now it's laying like this. I'm just going to put it upwards, and I'm going to come with my panel like so. And now I have them here at the waist, and I'm going to put this, and I'm going to start at the edge here because I know that these ones are going to fit. Let's see. Don't try to push too hard. It's important to start here because that's going to shape really nicely also what is happening here in the twist. Put this and another pin, and you should have 2 notches here happening. Let's see. So on the side seam here somewhere where the things are getting stuck together, you should have the notches that you transfer from the pattern. And I'm going to, and again, depending on the fabric that you are using, maybe you have to stitch a little bit away from those notches. And what you can also do, if you find that you have a really big gap, you can always go back and stitch a little bit more. So I'm just going to stitch this with 6mm seam allowance on my sewing machine, and you know, to take a look, this will be the side seam, the waist seam, and here we will have, we must remember that we flipped this, so if I flip this back again, you have your side panel that will get in a minute stitched. So remember that we had it flipped, and if you flip it back, then you get immediately the correct way. And you can also check yourself, because this straighter part here is becoming a part of the armhole, as you can see here. So if I put it back again, and I'm just going to demonstrate it again, you know, just to be sure. Let's see, make it open again, switch this back. So this is my side panel with the side seam unfinished. This is the finished part. I feed it, that at this moment you'll see that my front is coming through the hole, and then I'm flipping this up. I find this is the easiest way to get it. Then you'll bring this on the side seam here. Check good that this seam from here is all the way here and didn't get twisted with this one. Put it like this. Pin from the edge all the way to that twist, as much as you can, you know. As I said, you don't need to pull anything too hard. Like so. And a little bit more. As I said, you have notches here. If you feel that is too much, you can stop 1 centimeter and you know later you can fix it. I'm going to stitch this and then we will take a look with this as I left it here. So I'm not going to do anything, I'm just going to show you in a minute how it looks. So this is how it came from the sewing machine. This is stitched now with 6mm seam allowance, and I think I still have good 2 centimeters to my notches, but I can fix that later. I can go on with my sewing machine and put those together. Now the next step, let's see, I'm going to fold this back, and then I know that the straighter part needs to be upwards here. So if I'm unfolding this one again downwards, and this guy is going to get turned like this. You can see here is my nicely sewn side seam. I can see that this is correct because I have here on the outside I have the little seam. And the next step, so we are almost done now, the next step will be to sew this edge here together here. So I'm just going to pin this. Again, start at the upper part because this you know where it needs to be, and put a pin here and walk this as much as you can till you get to that knot here that you cannot, you know, the fabric is going to say to you where you need to stop. I'm going to pull this a little bit because I do want to get closer to the knot, as you can see. And I have here a little let's see, a little mark with a yellow, so I'm just going to pull this together, but not pull, but bring them together. You can see they are not stretched or anything, and I'm just going to stop at my marking. So this guy is going to get stitched with 6mm seam allowance, also with the sewing machine. And then I can go a little bit downwards here. And here is something up to you how much you want to stitch. So I'm just going to stitch this first. So this one is now stitched here on the upper part, as you can see. This is stitched, it's nicely finished. And now I have, of course, a little bit, let's see, I don't want to mess this up. Now I have here this part, the lower part, that needs to marry here downwards. But of course I want to leave a little bit of slit, and you know, you can decide how much you want to let it open. So I'm just going to unfold this a little bit. Let's see, I know this fabric is really busy, but you definitely can see here. So I'm just going to fold this again a little bit back. And you feel that this is here already stitched, so you cannot pull it too much. I'm just going to bring it here at my knot a little bit together. And I do have here a notch where I should stop for the slit. So you have about maybe 3 centimeters or something like that that you can stitch from the notch up to the knot, and then I'm just going to put a pin, and then your twist, your front is going to be done. Next you have, of course, the rest of the construction that you can see in the sewing instructions. Make these little hems here and make your bindings to the armholes or your neckline what you want. Then everything is going to look really, really nice. I hope you enjoyed this video tutorial for the twist. I hope it was a little bit clear. You can, of course, you can rewind and watch it again, but this is how it's supposed to look. And this here you have a hem. Again, you can sew this as much as you want to have your split bigger, longer or shorter here, but that's really up to you. So thank you so much for watching, everybody. Bye.